As Uganda inches closer to another critical election cycle, statements from political actors are coming under intense public scrutiny. One particular comment has sparked debate, concern, and widespread discussion across political spaces and social media. Don't go home after casting your ballot. Stay at least 20 meters away from the polling station. We have many people waiting to steal your votes. If you go home, it means they will come and steal it, the election. I'm calling upon the people of Isingiro not to go home after voting. Ms. Lillian Rutroho, NRM flag bearer for Isingiro District Woman MP seat. This statement, made ahead of Uganda's upcoming elections, has raised serious questions about electoral confidence, political responsibility, and the state of democracy in the country. Call to action. Before we go further, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it so more Ugandans and Africans can be part of this important conversation about democracy, elections, and the future of governance in Uganda. Why this statement matters. Elections are the cornerstone of any democratic system. They rely on public trust that votes will be cast freely, counted accurately, and protected by electoral institutions. When a political candidate openly tells voters not to leave polling stations because their votes may be stolen, it signals something deeply troubling. Such a statement does not come from an opposition figure crying foul before results are announced. It comes from a flag bearer of the ruling National Resistance Movement, NRM, the party that has dominated Uganda's political landscape for decades. This raises a critical question. If the ruling party itself is warning of vote theft, what does that say about confidence in the electoral process? The implicit message to voters. Ms. Rudaraho's words send multiple messages at once. That vote theft is real and expected. That state institutions may be unable or unwilling to stop it. That voters themselves must physically guard their votes. This creates fear and anxiety among voters. Elections should empower citizens, not make them feel like they must act as security agents after voting. For many Ugandans, especially in rural districts like Isingiro, voting already comes with challenges, long distances, limited resources, and security concerns. Asking voters to remain near polling stations after voting could increase tension, crowding, and the risk of confrontation. Legal and electoral implications. Uganda's electoral laws clearly outline procedures at polling stations, including how close voters and observers are allowed to remain after voting. Encouraging citizens to stay within a specified distance, especially without official authorization, could potentially violate electoral guidelines. More importantly, such calls risk undermining the authority of the Electoral Commission, which is constitutionally mandated to manage and safeguard elections. If political candidates openly suggest that elections can be stolen once voters leave, it begs the question, what mechanisms are in place to ensure transparency and accountability? A dangerous precedent. Across Africa, elections have often been flashpoints for violence. History has shown that statements encouraging people to remain at polling centers, defend votes, or resist theft can quickly escalate into chaos. Crowds gathering around polling stations after voting can lead to clashes between rival supporters, intimidation of election officials, security force intervention, disruption of vote counting. While vigilance is important, mob-style electoral protection is not democracy. Democracy depends on strong institutions, not physical presence, and fear-driven mobilization. Responsibility of political leaders. Political leaders, especially those from ruling parties, carry a heavy responsibility. Their words shape public perception and behavior. A statement like this, coming from an NRM candidate, risks legitimizing claims of electoral malpractice even before ballots are counted. Instead of urging voters to remain near polling stations, leaders should be calling for respect for electoral laws, confidence in institutions, peaceful participation, legal channels for dispute resolution. Anything short of that fuels distrust and weakens democratic culture. What this says about electoral trust in Uganda. Perhaps the most worrying aspect of this statement is what it reveals about internal trust within the political system. If candidates believe elections can be stolen so easily, why should citizens trust the outcome? Why should young people believe voting matters? Why should international observers view the process as credible? Democracy cannot survive without belief in the system. Once that belief erodes, voter apathy, unrest, and political instability follow. Voices of the people. Since the statement surfaced, Reactions have been mixed. Some supporters argue that Ms. Ruturaho was merely encouraging vigilance and civic responsibility. Others see it as reckless and dangerous. Civil society voices have called for caution, urging politicians to avoid inflammatory language that could compromise peace. Analysts warn that such rhetoric, if repeated across the country, could turn election day into a tense and unpredictable affair. The bigger picture. Uganda stands at a crossroads. With a young population, rising political awareness, and increasing digital engagement, the demand for transparent and credible elections has never been stronger. Statements like this highlight the urgent need for electoral reforms, clear communication from the Electoral Commission, stronger civic education, accountability across party lines. Elections should be about policies, leadership, and vision, not fear of theft. Final thoughts. Ms. Lilian Ruturaho's statement may have been intended as a call for vigilance, but its implications go far beyond Isingiro district. It touches the heart of Uganda's democratic process and raises uncomfortable questions about trust, transparency, and political responsibility. As Ugandans prepare to vote, one thing is clear. Democracy must be protected through institutions, law, and peaceful participation, not anxiety and suspicion. Final call to action. If you believe elections should be peaceful, transparent, and credible, like this video, share it widely, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more deep political analysis on Uganda and Africa. Your voice matters. Let's keep the conversation going.